And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Shadow King. I can only find one instance of someone suggesting Naruto versus Asta, of all people. Both leads of their own respective series, but both drastically different in terms of what their abilities ultimately are. Obviously, Naruto, we know, he is the reincarnation of one of the sons, Azura, I believe it is, of the Sage Six Paths down the generational lines. He's the main character of Naruto at his peak as Hokage. He is probably among the strongest characters in the actual series. Famous for the Shadow Clones, which can act accordingly and transfer information to him. He can spam those things, or could. We're talking about him at his peak, so obviously we'll have him with Kurama. Famous for also spamming the Rasengan, having access to most, if not all, basic forms of chakra, as well as a couple elemental releases, thanks to the extra tail beast chakra he had. He knew Sage Mode, which allowed him to harness natural energy, also giving him extra sensory capabilities. And then obviously Kurama's chakra added onto that, allowed him to access his tail beast mode with the Nine Tails chakra. And then when he had to, the Baryon mode, which allowed him to basically, how was it described? It was described like nuclear fusion, where chakra was basically being split and burned up, kind of. That's not exactly how it was. Baryon mode. Hold on. Naruto Baryon mode. I want to get Baryon mode Naruto. Hold on. So it was essentially described as the process is similar to nuclear fusion. Naruto and Kurama's chakra are consumed out as raw materials, produce a new type of energy. The increase of chakra was enough to shock both Ishiki and Sasuke, with the latter noting it being tremendous. When in use, it dramatically boosts Naruto's reflexes, speed, power to such extremes that even surpassing Ishiki's capabilities, which was no small feat, allowing him to snatch Otsutsuki's black rods out of the air before they were visibly enlarged, as well as dodging and effortlessly parrying attacks. Kurama notes that because all chakras connected, contact with the opponent will drain their lifespan as well. This was honestly the real benefit of the ability. The problem is, this is the double-edged sword. It will also it'll drain the user's strength and vary lifespan because the extreme risk user must not make any unnecessary movements nor act or stray through thoughts, focusing only on the most calculated moves to keep the mode even stable. Even more so, it basically destroyed Kurama. Kurama's dead in the series right now. No, Naruto would not necessarily have to go into this immediately, but he could be a factor later down the road in the fight. Naruto, though, even on his own, without Kurama's chakra, can move at near light speeds. With Kurama, he was definitely moving at light speeds. Had enhanced strength that was able to just crater mountains. Him and Sasuke's actual fight destroyed the Valley of the End. Power-wise, these guys were on like a continental, if not multi-continental level of power. Asta is the main character of Black Clover. He is, again, a self-made man, but in a different way. In a world where magic is common and everyone has a little bit of it, some more than others, Asta actually did not have the ability to use magic. But instead, he worked solely on his physical body, allowing him to be more physically able than most of the other characters in the series. But because he had no magical aptitude, he was able to use anti-magic, which was gifted to him by the five-leaf clover. Anti-magic is just as it says. It is a unique type of energy. Technically, it's magic, but technically it's not. And that despite not having the ability to use magic, Asta can control anti-magic very well because he has no magic. This basically negates the abilities of magic in general. He can use this in multiple ways, but it normally manifests in his swords that he's so often seen using. His swords include the Demon Slayer sword, which is the first sword he unlocked. It was basically one that can be used to deflect and negate spells. The Demon Dweller sword, the second sword that can release projected slashes of anti-magic, allowing him to cut through spells from a distance. The Demon Slayer sword, which is a third sword, which possesses the ability known as Casual Break, which allows it to generate anti-magic tendrils that can absorb and remove the after effects of spells. It can even negate reincarnation magic. And then this Demon Slasher Katana he gained through helping through his boss Yami, the leader of the Black Wolves, lending him his katana. It eventually became part of his weapon. This actually allows him to has a different ability, which allows him to basically damage anything he wants to cut. He can choose what the sword wants, what sword cuts. He's also because of this now an expert swordsman. He has no magical power, so he's immune to certain abilities that would entail that, like magic sensors, things along those lines. He has enhanced strength, obviously. He's able to punch holes in rocks with no injury to himself. He can swing his sword with such force that it can break stone when they crash. And the queen further enhanced his arm strength using magic blood. He has enhanced speed, enhanced durability, and even in base, he is extremely fast. Then he actually has the ability to sense ki. He's capable of also manipulating his ki to build up and concentrate anti-magic in his arm. He's actually got, despite his nature, he's actually got pretty smart intellect, capable of more tactical problem solving more than anything else. And then there's the Devil Possession, which is connected to Libe, who is the anti-magic granting demon that basically is where the magic came from, or anti-magic came from. He basically made a bargain that his right arm, in exchange for power, he basically was able to increase his power to the point where he's able to negate a gravity singularity and to coat additional weapons and anti-magic. He is limited to 50 seconds of usage with the Devil Possesses him, however. He also has the form known as Unite, which basically, for up to 10 minutes, coats him completely in anti-magic. This enhances his abilities even further beyond that. Capable of just cleaving mountains, things along those lines. So, yeah. Now, am I oversimplifying it? Yes, but I was also oversimplifying Naruto. How this fight, if these two were to meet in the battlefield in some way, how would this fight break down? Well, Asta's immediately at a disadvantage with Naruto because nothing Naruto is using is magic-based. It's naturally based. It's chakra. Or ki in some regard. Now, this does mean, though, that Asta can sense Naruto's location. In fact, I think he'd have an easier time with someone like Naruto or from someone from the Naruto world than somewhere else because of chakra. But that also begs the question if they're able to keep up with each other. In base form, it's difficult to say. Asta might actually be faster. It's been shown that he does move at the kind of light speeds, or at least relativistic light speeds in base form. But if you're factoring in Naruto's connection with Kurama, well, now they become a lot more relativistic to each other and closer to each other. I'd say that in their final forms, it's probably a wash in who's faster, but Naruto certainly has more battlefield experience than Asta does. So even with the speed advantage, if Asta has it, Naruto's experience and reflexes would certainly come into equation. While they're both tactical, I'd argue Naruto's just the more tactical. Again, older, more experienced with tactics, but also his shadow clones make for great diversionary tactics. And being able to sense ki and then sensing multiple ki signatures would probably confuse someone like Asta, who, well, not dumb, could be easily taken for a ride. The only weapon Asta has on call that could hurt Naruto legitimately straight out without any issue with anti-magic or trying too hard is the katana. With the Demon Slayer the Demon Slasher katana. That's the only only weapon and ability he outright has that could actually hurt Naruto. But Naruto does have recovery factor in his chakras that can act as a cloak, so that could help definitely offset that. Naruto has overall access to more abilities, mostly Rasengan based, but still, between Sage mode, Kurama's mode, and then Baryon mode, he's got more, and then Rasengan's variants on the Rasengans, he's got more abilities. I'd argue he probably has the better durability in this fight, too. While the anti-magic certainly could protect Asta, it's designed to go up against magic, not just general attacks. It can certainly help against general attacks, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all there. So if Naruto throws, say, a Rasen Shuriken at Asta and he tries to block it thinking it's magic, then he's going to be in for a very bad and rude awakening. And because of how a Rasen Shuriken works, attacking on the cellular level, Asta could be in a world of hurt after that. Now, that said, if he's already figured out Naruto's not using magic, avoiding might be the better way to go about things for Asta. He is definitely not stupid when it comes to combat. He won't take a hit if he doesn't think he can take it. But the fight will probably progress into the upper echelons until you get basically to Asta going all out with the Unite form, which could last up to 10 minutes. Naruto going full Kurama mode, maybe with Sage mode enhancing that, and them clashing back and forth for a while. Asta, being a smaller figure and moving at similar speeds to Naruto, would actually have an advantage as he could continue to hit Naruto in blind spots. Or, no, not blind spots because of Sage mode, but basically in spots where Naruto can't immediately react. However, I think from a power perspective, these two are still probably on relative terms with each other. We know Kurama could just level landscapes, and even has been stated to be on a planetary-esque level, either being able to actually destroy the planet on his own, or at least raising life on the planet. Basically, he's an extinction level. I think that's actually the best way to put Kurama. While he's in a planetary range, yes, I know data books have said a few different things. They've said planet raising and, and like wiping life out, or actually planet destroying, but somewhere in the planetary level. But I think the better way to put it is that he's an extinction level event character, Kurama. He could wipe out the planet in that sense. Asta, as far as we know, is not planetary, but he has been able to, as I stated earlier, he has been able to actually overcome a singularity, which is no small feat whatsoever. Where was that thing that stated he overcame a singularity? Now I think about it. Where's the gravity thing? The gravity singularity that Yami, I believe, produced. Basically, he produced a black hole. Now, obviously, gravity, it didn't work the same way a normal black hole works because, quite frankly, he would have absorbed, the planet would have been gone within seconds if that were the case. But it still was a literal gravity singularity. It didn't act quite like a black hole does, but that's still something that we've never seen anyone in Naruto really have to work with. We've seen Naruto and Sasuke deal with like dimension hopping, light speed attacks, things along those lines, but actual space-time manipulation in that level is not something we've seen him deal with. However, also, because it doesn't act like an actual true black hole in reality, it's possible that Naruto could actually destroy this maybe with a tail beast bomb or something. I don't know. It's debatable. They're probably, again, in a comparable power area. The problem ultimately is, when you break down the fight, Naruto's just a better fighter, has more experience, and is a bit more tactical. But even if we're going beyond those, if we go into Baryon mode, and Naruto knows he only has so much time left, that is where the change in this fight happens, because it's just what Baryon mode's nature actually is. Because while his limitations in the form are very noted, the fact is he's draining Asta's lifespan the longer he's in the form. Every time he takes a hit, hell, Naruto could just get him in a headlock and just drain his lifespan as he's got him there, and the anti-magic wouldn't be able to do shit. So, it is tough. These two probably would be duking it out quite a bit. Naruto's got the better edge of hurting Asta more often than Asta does him because of the lack of magic Naruto has versus the lack of special resistance to standard physical attacks Asta has. But yeah, they would probably be duking it out for a while. I would go Naruto though. I think Naruto is, again, the more strategic, the more experienced. He's got, I think, the overall stronger abilities for this type of fight. And if he's either relativistic to Asta, or he probably has a slight power or speed advantage over Asta. Or he's just a bit under. Like I said, he's more or less relativistic, but he's either just a little under or a little below, I think, anyway. But this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you feel different. I know I'm going to get all the people like, you don't know, Asta, why don't you read those? You need to read this. And stuff. I get so freaking sick of the people who say that. It's like, you really think I'm just doing it solely off of like what I know of the character and not looking shit up? Like, you really, I don't know. Lately, some things have just been irking me. Not on the channel, just in overall. Some of it's the channel. But every now and then, I still get people who just comment like that. And it just really chafes my buttocks. So, yeah, ultimately, that's my thoughts. What do you think, though? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.